This is a clip from the Cannon podcast. To hear the full episode and get access to exclusive benefits, head over to patreon.com/thecannonpod and sign up for just £3 a month.
With all this taken into account, going into next season now, which I still believe very excited, I've gone as far as saying on multiple podcasts that we're going to do it. We're going to win the league. I'm going to say it here as well. I have this honest fans belief that we can go from 84 points potentially this year to go up to 95 with the right signings. If, of course, we get a certain carbohydrate.
Your Twitter
it's going to help out quite a lot.
R.I.P.
Oh, listen, mate. My Twitter mention is already R.I.P. So no matter what I say, it's R.I.P. I'd rather die trying. But in terms of next year, I think the goal is 95 points. We're going to do this quickly for now. 95 points. How can Arsenal get there? George?
Yeah, just make sure that you have a carb diet. Make sure that I think, look, in all honesty, if I'm really giving tactical suggestions, I think Mikel needs to have a little bit of improvement as a coach. I'm going to start there because I think a lot of people that have supported Mikel believe that he can do no wrong in a sense, and that's what you must do at this point. But it's not true. I think he has to evolve with the team. As much as we say that this is the youngest team in the league, Mikel Arteta is one of the youngest coaches in the world. Of course he has to evolve as a coach. And I think one of those is trusting his squad a little bit more than he does. That, I think, would help us with 95 points. In terms of some of the tactical things in the squad, I think that we definitely need to become more consistent in our 1v1 press. I think we've shown a really good step this season, like an immense good step. But I think what undid us ever since kind of January was the fact that our midfield was far too open. We allowed far too many transitions. And I think if we're going to close the gap to 95 points, we need to make that not just a first half of the season, but a full season of ensuring that our midfield is compact. Lastly, I really do think that in 1v1 situations, particularly in attack, we need to be more decisive. And that just doesn't mean in terms of goal and chances, because that's what everybody wants to say. I think that's more in terms of final action. And really what I'm frustrated with at times is I do find we run ourselves into a hole trying to create the perfect goal. Classic Arsenal criticism. But in general, we don't hit players fast enough. And I think there's a certain ruthlessness to the city sides that make sure that when you're on top, you kill teams. And I think we've done a phenomenal job of kind of recording, I think, the team with the most losing position points. Like, we've done that, but I don't think we kill teams 4 or 5-0 enough. And it's that ruthless edge that I really want Arsenal to get. And it doesn't have to be a signing. It's really about evolving as a team, that we don't rely on environment to play well. Like, I want us to be on it no matter what. I don't want us to have to get a goal scored on to turn on. Far too many times I feel the reasons that we've maybe lost at times beyond just tactics is I think a lot of people feel we turn on our game at moments. That for me isn't a title-winning team. A title-winning team does it all the time. And look, that's a lot easier said than done, but I do think that Mikel Arteta has referenced that kind of ruthlessness in press conferences for the first time, and I would tend to agree. I think we need to be ruthless in key 1v1s, reduce those transitions, and Mikel needs to evolve as a coach to make sure that he is trusting his squad depth a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Alex, what do you think? Can we get to the 95-point golden ticket next year and maybe lift something?
I'm not getting clipped like you, mate.
You got to believe, mate. You got to believe in the project.
I think we can challenge 1,000,000%, and I think the idea that we can't is born out of just people not looking, basically not watching. The fact that they've got Saliba in the team of the season tells you everything, doesn't it? So I'm not bashing Saliba, by the way, but if you watch Arsenal this season and think that Gabriel wasn't the better defender, I can't help you. So yeah, I think there's a number of things. So I would say I echo everything George said. I'd add another thing. We tend to be really intense, aggressive, and front-footed at the beginnings of halves, and we don't find a way to sustain that. And there's some games call for that. Some games call for an aggressive start, an aggressive push. Some games call for you to build into the game. I'd like to see a bit more because if I'm an opposition team and I'm scouting Arsenal, I'm going, just hold on the first 10 minutes. They always come out quick. They always come out the starting block. They've always got North London Forever blaring, Erdegaard cheering up the crowd, whatever. Fine, just calm them down. Then you can play them. I would like to see a difference in our tempo and in our rhythm. And again, realistically, it's about approach, which is another point. Different approaches. We've got to find different ways of winning games. I like, at the moment, it feels like we're like a little sort of leaf in the wind, and the moment we get blown over, it's over for us. Like, we just have to become more resilient, find different ways of winning. And as George says, that can come from within. That can be an internal promotion of something or someone, a different profile, different something in the market, whatever. But you can't think that your game model is going to win you 38 league games. It just won't. There's going to be penalties. There's going to be set pieces. There's going to be random moments. There's going to be Reece Nelson screamers. There's going to be moments that go against it. You're going to have injuries, suspensions, loss of form. It's all going to happen. This is football. We know it happens every single year, so you have to find different ways of doing it. And I think, as I say, he's a little bit rigid. He also mentioned at the press conference about ideas. He said there's certain ideas that he hasn't put across to the players. Why? Tell them. I appreciate you feel like there's a point when you want to introduce a new idea to the players, but I'm also a bit like, mate, if you've got ideas and you've got thoughts, like, you've got to try and implement them. And I appreciate you want to do it when a team is mature and a team is ready, but we've got to, if you have got new ideas, let's see them, mate, because I'd love to see them. 3 more things. One is game management. I think we manage games really poorly at times, as George has said, and again, it's sort of in the approach again. How can we start killing teams with 1,000 passes, all that sort of stuff? Like, I just want to see us see games out and hold people at arm's length. The time and obviously experience as well. Like, we are just going to be another year older, another year wiser, another year with players tied down to their contracts. If you look at, there's a picture of us against Valencia when we lost. Was it Valencia? No, Villarreal in the Europa League. Then there's the picture of us at Newcastle on the floor in the yellow kit. Then there's going to be the picture of us at City or at Nottingham Forest, whatever. There's pretty iconic photos of us losing. Those are all experiences, and ultimately the curve is doing that, and that has to pay off at some point. And the final thing is ruthlessness. We have to be ruthless. There is no if buts or maybes about this. We can't be a nice cuddly club. Like, there has to be a time where if you are underperforming, you sit down. I don't care what name's on the back of your shirt. I don't care. Like, and if you're not the best in class in your position, we have to be looking to replace you. If you're not top 3, at least in the world in your position, we have to be having conversations. We're very nice at Arsenal, and we're lovely, and I love it. And we're a very family club, and I'd never want to become Madrid booing their own players. I don't want to do that. But at some point, we have to accept that that's who we're facing. So to be the best, you got to join them, or whatever the phrase is.
Or you got to sign someone who plays for West Ham. Helps out.
Can I just say, if you don't watch these podcasts, you must, because honestly, anytime anyone says Rice, Bhavs is like this. Thanks for checking out the Cannon Podcast. To get full episodes and access to exclusive benefits, head over to patreon.com/thecannonpod and sign up for just £3 a month.